slam for John McCain. And I'll explain that in a bit, but I'm going to launch into Obama here because I don't have a ton of time. But one thing that's really nice in Obama's chart to the U.S. chart is that he puts like his Jupiter and the U.S. moon come together. Now the U.S. moon signifies, and it's going to come up again, this kind of collective soul of the U.S. And so a lot of, and the U.S. moon and Obama's ascendant are also related. He's an Aquarius rising. He gives off, like that's what we were talking about, that vibe of equality, that vibe of we need change, okay? And the U.S. moon in Aquarius is about this. Again, we were talking about the foundation of the country being the south node. So the U.S. has the moon and the south node in Aquarius. And so Obama puts his ascendant and his Jupiter and his south node in Aquarius as well. So you can hear that, and this comes up again, that what Obama's saying may really resonate with the heart and soul of the country. Okay? And the interesting thing is that the Venus, Obama's Venus and the U.S. Venus are exactly conjunct in Cancer. Now that also brings popularity, it brings a sense of camaraderie. Venus is coming together are like friendship. It's kind of like, I'm one of you. That's what he says. And the same thing with Aquarius, that vibe. It's, I'm not above, I'm not anything like that. And so I want to say this. Now, we could also look at a chart called the candidacy chart. When did the candidates say, I'm going to be running, declaration? We could also look at their nomination. But on the day that Obama, this is really interesting and fascinating, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. When he made his declaration, the void, of course, moon was taking place. The moon was void, of course. Now, we said that that's happening election day, and that's happening inauguration day. So, a lot of astrologers would say that bodes very poorly, because anything begun under that void of course moon, like a declaration of, candidacy, is not going to amount to anything. But what about the fact that that void of course moon resonates with the election day void of course moon and the inauguration day void of course moon? That could mean that he very well could be there because it's the same kind of energy. I mean, that's what makes this election so damn weird. That, like, the rules are kind of being rewritten, This is part of that Saturn-Uranus opposition. It's just like, whoa. And literally, I just want to emphasize that anything is possible. And probably will happen. Okay. Let's... Yes. So inauguration. I'm just going to jump to the inauguration chart. The positives. There's a lot of positives here for Obama. One big thing is that Jupiter in the sky moves into Aquarius next year. Now Obama has a lot of Aquarius, like we were just saying, and especially what's nice is that Obama's Jupiter return, only once every 12 years, a feeling of kind of the guru, the Santa Claus, the red carpet gets rolled out for you with that. It's kind of a lot of synchronicities, it can enhance your faith. It's just usually a very beneficial time for a lot of people. He's having that exact Jupiter return.
On Inauguration Day?
Yes, Jupiter will be conjunct his Jupiter. And shortly after that, Jupiter will, and throughout 2009, Jupiter will cross his ascendant, cross his south node, so maybe whatever he's been bringing in from past lives comes to this fruition. That bodes very well. But what else is interesting is that on that inauguration day, and this is going to come in very strong when we talk about Sarah Palin's chart, is that we have Mercury and the Sun, because it takes place on January 20th. Mercury and the sun are at 0 degrees Aquarius. Jupiter's at 3. And the north node is at 9 degrees Aquarius, north node in the sky. Also the planet, or the asteroid Chiron, is at 19 degrees Aquarius. And Neptune is at 23. I'm going to come back to all of these, okay? Because when we see Mercury, Sun, and Jupiter right there, those beginning degrees of Aquarius, we see that they are basically all going to conjunct Obama's Jupiter. That's really nice, giving solar life force, giving kind of media attention to or communication about this expansive self. The interesting thing that I see as like a challenge to that is that those planets are, all those, the Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury, are all coming through Obama's 12th house. This is a hidden house. It's not the ascendant comes next, okay? So the houses can be sometimes known as the house of loss, the house of karma. I think it could go either way. The 12th house could definitely have to do with one's presidency because one loses control, one loses their ego, so to speak, in the 12th house. And one who becomes president might not have as much power as they think they do. Okay? So this is really, really fascinating and interesting. But I think that it does like weaken that Jupiter conjunctions that he has going on. Whereas when we look at Sarah Palin's chart, the Jupiter conjunctions happening for her seem very beneficial because it's in a different house. It's in the 7th house. I'll get there in a minute. There's a number of other things that look very good for Obama on that chart. His progressed moon is on the ascendant. That's very nice. Mars is transiting his progressed midheaven, the evolving career. Mars is giving this drive or this energy to make it happen. Maybe there's also a conflict there. Maybe it's not quite what he wants it to be. That could work either way. There's something else where the moon, like we said, is at 29 Scorpio, that last degree. And it's on something called the progressed part of fortune. The part of fortune has to do with one's area of success, prosperity. And I thought that was very interesting that of all the degrees, 360, the moon could be in, it's on his progressed part of fortune. I think that could be very beneficial for him. And that's in the 10th house, the house of the career. The other thing is that this could be negative. Now, the south node in the sky is transiting his sun. Okay. Now, the south node again has somewhat to do with dissolving or loss or some sort of karmic traces. Now, this is transiting his sun, so that could signify a loss to the solar life force. Okay, to how we're radiating out there in the world. And because I want to mention again that south node is on the nation's north node. And so where we're going, where we're trying to go as a nation is again up for grabs right here. There's just some really deep stuff happening in these inauguration and election day charts. Saturn is on Obama's Mars on that day. And that could, again, give structure to where he's ambitious and driving towards, but it could also very much limit that. So that Saturn force could work both ways here. In 2009,